Did you know that there's over 50,000 species of spiders in the world? In this video, I want to talk about the 5 most common spiders local to us and whether or not you should be worried about them. Some things that will be in this video: pictures of spiders. Now, if you have extreme arachnophobia, this might be your sign to click away. I do want to call out the fact that most spiders are harmless. In fact, as a bug guy, they can be helpful if we're trying to get rid of some of the other bugs. And a spoiler alert, black widows are going to get a special highlight in this video. Okay, this first one, I want to start with my favorite spider. It's kind of weird to say, but I think jumping spiders are kind of cute. If you've ever been brave enough to get up close to a jumping spider, they're short, stocky, and they've got these big forward-facing eyes. Kind of like me. They're pretty adorable. Jumping spiders are active during the day. You'll see them on your walls and your windowsills. I see them a lot actually running along the top of fence lines. And one cool thing about jumping spiders is they won't just like jump and free fall. They actually leave behind a little tether. So when they jump, they're almost more like a bungee jumper, but instead of bouncing back up, they can climb back up their little web. So I think jumping spiders are amazing little creatures. I understand that some people really don't like spiders and they say no spider is a good spider, but these ones are going to be really helpful. They eat nuisance pests like fruit flies, and it's kind of fun to watch them hunt because they'll creep up on the thing that they're hunting, almost like Simba in Lion King, and then they'll pounce and they'll eat their food just right there. So super cool little things. Like I said, I think they're cute. I encourage you to go see if you can find one around your house. They're kind of fun. This next spider is going to be familiar for any of our readers. Anybody who has read Charlotte's Web will be familiar with the orb weaver spider. Their most characteristic trait is their big, beautiful spider webs. They're the ones that are going to build in between archways, or if you're out on a hike, they'll build between trees and you're probably going to walk through their web. They're known to sit right in the middle of their web, and there's a bunch of different types of orb weavers, so I'm kind of cheating here, but just in general, orb weavers are super, super cool. Again, these are harmless to humans, and they're great at controlling flying insects. That big web is a net that catches mosquitoes and flies and other things that are flying through. I've even seen them catch wasps before, which is wild. They come in many colors. I've often seen them be bright orange or have little checker patterns. So again, another fun one here. Orb weavers. These ones aren't necessarily as cute as jumping spiders, but their webs are very distinctive and quite beautiful. The next spider we're going to talk about is the wolf spider. So wolf spiders get their name because they don't build webs. They hunt like a wolf. They're large, hairy, kind of intimidating looking spiders, but they're really not aggressive. You can be bitten by wolf spiders. If you're trapping them or they feel like they're in danger, they will bite, but they are not medically significant bites. No need to go to the hospital or anything like that. I think one thing that's really cool about wolf spiders is they actually carry their egg sacs on their back. I had a customer one time who had a video go viral on social media. They had a spider in their garage and it was really big and intimidating. So he had his wife film him while he smashed this spider. And when he did, little baby spiders spread everywhere. It's because when they smacked it, all these little babies ran away. There were hundreds of them. They're kind of crazy to see. But if you're into that kind of thing, I know there's other videos like that online, so you can go check those out. Wolf spiders, probably not like super pretty or cool, like I've said for these other ones, but they're an interesting one and they're super common around here. Okay, this next one is actually kind of important for you to know about. The hobo spider is really common around here and often mistaken for a brown recluse. Interestingly enough, brown recluses aren't native to our area. they're not around here, but hobo spiders are, and a lot of people will see them and mistake them for a brown recluse. They are brown, obviously, and they're quick moving. They're not going to be like a little plotter. They're going to jet around the house pretty crazy. They have funnel-shaped webs. So if you've ever seen those webs down by your basement or around the foundation of your house, and it looks like it's a funnel that goes into the hole of the ground, it's probably a hobo spider web. Their bites aren't super common, but when they do happen, they're not generally dangerous. So you can do a little bit of research for yourself. This is one that I'm not going to go pick up and play with personally, but it's also good to know that it's not a brown recluse that is going to have you in the hospital for weeks or months. As promised, I want to talk about the black widow. So everybody's seen a black widow, at least a picture of one, maybe a video, but I'm sure you've seen them in real life. They're shiny black, and everybody knows them by their red hourglass under the abdomen. Interesting thing about black widows is there's actually multiple different types of black widows. The northern black widow actually has an hourglass on the top of its abdomen. And so you want to be pretty cautious if you're around any shiny black spider. I'm going to throw in a bonus here. We also have brown widows in the area. Again, they'll have that red hourglass, but they're going to be brown instead of black. Widows are kind of crazy. There's false widows. There's white widows. Lots of like interesting variants and variations, but the one that everybody's going to know, the household name, is the black widow. You'll often find these in the dark. The most common way to see a black widow is to take a flashlight in your yard late at night and be looking under patio furniture, be looking maybe by your trash cans or under your bike seats. They're really common. Their bites can be actually really dangerous. They're venomous. They can cause muscle pain, nausea, cramps. Important to note here, they're rarely fatal, but that does not mean you should be playing with them. Small children and pets, especially small dogs, are at a higher risk than full-grown adults. I still, though, do not recommend playing with black widows. I'm going to go grab a jumping spider and hold it on my hand, or maybe a tarantula. Personally, not going to get anywhere near a black widow unless I've got some thick gloves on, and probably it's not going to survive the interaction with me. I do think it's interesting to note that black widow populations in our area have actually been decreasing with a rise of brown widows. We've been seeing more and more of them over the last 5 to 10 years. So just because it's not big and black and shiny doesn't mean it's not dangerous. I am going to recommend anybody, when you're finding a spider you're unfamiliar with, to use caution. Other than the actual physical description of the spider itself, you can easily identify them by their webs. We talked earlier about orb weavers and their big, beautiful webs that they build in between pillars of your pergola or in between trees on the trail. Black widows are going to build nasty little chaotic webs, and their webbing is actually really strong. I think pound for pound, it's supposed to be stronger than steel, which is crazy. But if you see these little chaotic webs with sticks and leaves and debris stuck in them, it's probably a black widow. They're strong enough to hold on to those big major things. And that's because black widows, with that venom, it gives them the ability to go after larger prey. So they're able to use the webs to catch some bigger things. All right, to wrap it up, I just want to point out that most spiders in our area are harmless. I'm not going to recommend that you go play with any spider you're unfamiliar with, though, because black widows and brown widows, as mentioned earlier, do require some caution. Regular pest control from a professional company or just doing it yourself can help reduce populations of spiders. If you're going to get pest control, make sure they're specializing in widow treatment and black and brown widow treatment. This means they're going to be spraying under patio furniture. They're going to be spraying in the handles of your trash can, and they're going to be looking specifically in these areas that are common to black widows. If you don't know if your company is doing that, or if you're doing it yourself and you don't know exactly where to look, Local Bug Guy is always happy to offer some recommendations or do a free inspection on your home. So if you're interested in getting rid of your bugs today, call Local Bug Guy.